Coast's most accurate forecast from the First Coast News Weather Team, certified by Weather Rate, sponsored by AC Designs.
Good afternoon. Welcome in. I'm meteorologist Ross Mumon, joined as always by Chief Meteorologist Tim Deegan. And Tim, have you warmed up your shoulder yet for the mound?
See, what I really need to warm up is this right here. I need to make sure that when the first pitch is thrown, I'm smiling no matter how much I might be critical of. and actually, I'm totally kidding because, as you know, I think every time I've done a first pitch, I've thrown it into the dirt.
That's what you've said.
And when the mayor threw her first pitch last year, it like blew me away. I should be the water boy. So yeah, I should have in fact, that's all I should be doing is warming up my water bottle holding hand.
Or maybe they'll just have you be the DH today then. You don't even have to worry about throwing a pitch.
What I'm really hoping
just
is
get the
that,
swing. Are you righty or lefty when you swing?
Oh, I'm righty.
Okay, yeah. Just step into it, swing the hips.
What I'm really hoping is I'm just the hot dog guy. How many hot dogs would you like after the pitch? There's a look.
Yeah, I think it's a beautiful night to have some hot dogs over at the ballpark. Well, there are a few clouds in the sky.
Couple cumulus, yeah.
It's a really just beautiful evening out there. Not too humid, temperatures pretty warm as well. So overall, just making for a very nice evening if you are planning on.
Sold out.
It is sold out, yeah. Yeah, so here's kind of a look at what the rest of the afternoon or earlier afternoon looked like. Yeah, so you can just kind of see it bubbling up a little bit.
Yeah, and you can see there is a light flow from the west up at the Q level, but the sea breeze and the drier air not letting it happen. As you know, I am curious to see if maybe down around southern Flagler or southern Putnam County, if maybe an isolated shower pops down there.
But overall, you're still thinking rain chances, even for those folks, are going to be pretty low here.
I'm with you. That's why I think that term play ball works at like not only downtown, but in just about everybody's backyard.
Yeah, and well, there's a good look at, I think, the overall flow. So for most of us, it's coming out of the west, but that sea breeze already starting to move on in, crossed over 95. When you went for your walk earlier outside, did you feel the breeze at all out there?
You could feel the breeze. You could feel the breeze, and even our boss, our general manager, used the term very, very nice. So that's
very
like,
nice.
I mean, I wonder if you almost take it to another word. You know, if you have to say, I wasn't going to correct the boss.
Oh, no.
But I've been told by the English majors in the newsroom that once you go to very, very, and then you say nice, you should there must be another better word.
Yeah, the next level adjective rather than just nice. Terrific.
Yeah. Well, you know, we have some wordsmiths behind the curtain right now. We should probably be asking them.
They are the experts.
What should we use? If instead of very, very nice, what would be a better word?
How would you describe today?
Time to play ball.
Time to play ball.
Time to play ball. Wise words from Aloft with
But
Andy.
wouldn't you expect more efficiency in wordage from our...
Well,
digital?
you got to understand, Andy's been off the last several days. It was his birthday weekend this past weekend. We want to wish him a belated birthday. He does. Well, I've seen a few more extra gray hairs over there.
So maybe we should ask Bella.
Well, I heard Bella, one of our other digital producers,
snapping.
she said he's a year closer to 40. I heard. Now you weren't in here when she said that, Tim, but
and of course, our family has an even tougher happy birthday song than that. We finished with "And You're 1 year closer to."
Oh,
yeah, that's how we finish our birthday song.
Start saving up for the gravestone.
But you know, since we've heard from Bella behind the curtain, seriously, there must be a better word than very, very nice. What would be the word for today?
Bella, what do you got?
Bella's not even listening to us.
No, they're too busy working.
Okay, sorry.
All right, we'll go back to the forecast. Enough of that. You can kind of see a little bit of that cumulus field, pretty much from the St. Johns River out into Clay and Putnam County.
There you go.
But here's really where the main storms are, out in South Florida.
And they're probably liking it, considering where those wildfires were.
Yeah, this is the driest spot across the
And their outlook is
peninsula.
to be dry the next 2 weeks, so I'm thinking they're happy about any kind of rain they can get right now.
Yeah, some much-needed rainfall there, and even some thunderstorms. What is that, just to the north of West Palm?
Yeah, toward Fort Pearson. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a little bit of some activity for them. For us, no concerns.
Play ball.
First pitch at 6 p.m. tonight. And more importantly, our very own Gator, Lee Southwick. She's going to be over there live at 5 o'clock.
She'll be eyeballing the weather for us.
Yeah, so she'll have a live weather report for us. Maybe talking to some Gator fans and some Seminole fans, which I give her some credit for.
That would be nice of her, yes.
Being willing to do that. Because, if it was like Penn State, Ohio State,
I'd
only talk to the Nittany Lions. I would not talk to any of the Buckeyes.
You wouldn't talk to any Buckeyes at all?
Absolutely not. Now, who would you say the Aggies, is it Texas A&M and Texas? Would you say
Yes,
Texas is your biggest?
Texas.
So you wouldn't interview any Longhorn fans?
I would have nothing but smart aleck comments for it. In fact, we don't even call them Longhorns. We call them T-Sips.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, point is, it's going to be a beautiful night here tonight.
Oh.
Now, the only thing you might want to keep in mind, if you are going out to the game or if you have any outdoor plans this evening, make sure you have that travel tissue pack with you. Tree pollen, very, very high right now, especially oak, juniper, and I believe pine is the other one, Tim. Yeah. So
and we know, folks, that we've discussed earlier that Ross is pollen sensitive, but so you're more sensitive though to the tree.
To the tree, yeah.
Gotcha. So here's something I do want to throw in here, and this is some allergists have supported this, and that is that not when the sea breeze first comes in. But if the sea breeze has been at your place for about 3 to 4 hours, it's probably going to help, right? Because at least it's blowing in from the ocean where there aren't many trees. So I don't know, have you noticed?
Sometimes that a slight increase in humidity or dampness off the ocean
helps also.
Yeah, can also bring the pollen levels down just a little bit.
Gotcha.
Because I've found, and this is just my own nasal study essentially, an eye study here, that the drier it is and the windier, typically the worse my allergies are.
Which intuitively, I guess it kind of makes sense that the particulates can stay in the air longer than get up in your nasal, as you say.
And we have a whole write-up on this on firstcoastnews.com, and you can get it on the First Coast News app. Our very own Bella actually wrote it up here. So making the First Coast one of the worst spots for allergies across the country. So unfortunately...
Or if you wanted to be a positive, a epicenter for allergists to come study.
I guess so.
Trying.
Always the optimist there. All right, well, overnight then, another kind of quiet, mild evening. Mid-50s for a lot of us, upper 50s, close to 60 out towards the beaches. And then tomorrow, another gorgeous day out there, Tim. I mean, temperatures back up into the low 80s by tomorrow afternoon. A little bit of a warm breeze coming in then. But
again, not too humid. So, yeah, I mean, this is good stuff.
And inland areas, especially if you live west of Highway 301, you're talking perhaps mid-80s, 83, 84, maybe a few isolated spots getting close to 85, anywhere from, McClenny to Keystone Heights, Gainesville certainly.
Yeah. But it does look like that high building in from the north might even cause the north and northeast breezes to pick up late Wednesday. Late Wednesday, but for sure it looks like we'll have them on Thursday.
Yeah, and kind of carry over into Thursday. So I think Thursday will really be the day of largest or most diverse temperatures. Coastal areas, I think these might be a little overdone.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe St. Simons Island actually has a hard time getting to 70.
Yes, I was just going to say that. I could see St. Simons Island at 68, 69, whereas, some places in, Baker and Union or Bradford counties could be, 82, 83, certainly so. So we're going to play a game here, Tim. Do you like games?
I love games.
So we're going to decide what weather we're going to kind of see or the temperature change based on which side of the high we are on. Now, I know there's a lot more that goes into it, but I think this might be a very simplified way to kind of explain to people what we're experiencing this week.
Fantastic.
So tomorrow, we're on the east side of the high. So northwesterly flow for the most part, besides the coastal areas who get that ocean breeze coming in the afternoon. Dry skies, really not any cooler air being advected in. But then come Thursday, the high moves over to our north and northeast. And then you talked about change on the way, temperature and wind direction wise, right?
Yep, get the wind off the cooler ocean, obviously. And really, I wanted to mention, sometime as long as we get that northwest wind, it's actually sort of a descending air. That is tomorrow off the clay hills of Georgia. Yeah. So that sort of adds a degree or two.
Now this is where being compressed. Some you mean?
Yes, exactly, exactly. Now this is where it gets sort of tough because I love your implication that on the west side of the high now we're going to start warming back up, but then that also means the moisture picks up.
Yes.
And so whereas that might not mean a big rise in temperature, so some, we do start seeing those morning temperatures come up as well.
And I think a gradual increase in humidity is kind of how I wrote it in my forecast notes today. So I'm not expecting, it's not going to be a humid Friday or Saturday even, but I think it will certainly be a slight uptick compared to what we've seen most of this week, right?
And because of that high pressure flow, so whether it's northeast or east or southeast, and because of the overall ridge building up, let's see if the surf temperature doesn't make it to 70 come Sunday or Monday. That's my sort of fun forecast to see if that happens.
Okay. Well, the other part of this, which is just this graphic in total, because of that more onshore flow and the increasing humidity, I think any rain chances we see, at least on Saturday, will be much more closer to the I-75 corridor and kind of the Gulf Coast. But this is all kind of ahead of what's really just, I think, going to be a pretty messy system by Sunday and even into early next week. So the big kind of just conglomerate of rain and some storms and moisture kind of along the Mississippi River Valley, that's a short wave of energy, but kind of also riding along the warm front kind of throughout Sunday. So it does look like, or at least rain chances will increase throughout the day on Sunday.
Now this is where we were. I think I may have been caught on the air, proof that this is live. But I was whispering, but and sometimes I get too picky. But we've reached that time of the year. Here's what I'm trying to say: where I lean more toward the word showers versus rain, because at least in my head, rain implies steady 1 to a couple hours, and most of us get it. Whereas a shower might last an hour, but maybe more like a 30-minute shower, and maybe not everybody get us. And so it'll be interesting to. So in other words, I'm thinking that if we get precipitation on Sunday, it'll be more in the way of showers as opposed to widespread rain.
And I do think maybe a good way to explain that would be, perhaps rain. I would often think of it as like it would be a wave, right? Mm-hmm. You see a large area of rain. I don't expect that.
Right.
Perhaps like more. Popcorn isn't not necessarily how I want to use it, but like almost polka dots.
Yeah.
If you took like a marker and dabbed it kind of over, you have a lot of spots that the rain itself or the shower itself is in an isolated area, but because there's so many of them around, it's kind of more like scattered showers.
And I think meteorologically we would say convective versus that's why I love how you drew the weather map, because
and we'll be in the warm sector there.
Yeah, we'll be in the warm sector, right.
And then come Monday into Tuesday, we're kind of waiting to see when that cold front kind of arrives, and does it stall out near us or to our north.
Don't you find it interesting? Is it their confidence level, or do we have a new team there this spring? It just seems like.
So, yes, it's funny you say that. So yesterday they had a slight risk out for this same area. It was a little bit larger, and it was the largest slight risk they've ever had out.
Is that right?
On day 6.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So far out.
Or day 7. Yeah, like.
And now for day 6, they've included us.
Yeah.
This far out.
So this would probably be a Monday afternoon and evening into Tuesday morning, perhaps, right?
And it's one of those situations to where folks, just because now the Severe Storm Forecast Office has us in a chance of severe weather, that doesn't mean we're all going to get rain. In fact, Ross and I are thinking that you might actually have a better chance of getting wet on Sunday versus Monday, despite the fact that you have a better chance of getting wet on Sunday versus Monday, but on Monday there's actually a higher risk of the stronger storms, which might sound kind of counterintuitive.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, and you can say what you think here, Tim, because I know we're running out of time here before too long, but I wouldn't be surprised if they not only shrink this size, but if they move it north. Mm-hmm. Would you? I mean, I certainly think we could see some stuff, but it does look like the best ingredients for severe weather do seem to be a little bit further north, besides the moisture.
Yes, I absolutely agree with that. My only wonderment is, does the whole system reach its maturity late in the afternoon, and so we get just the tail end that does kind of catch us,
kind of like during the daytime,
late on Monday when we still have the heat.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess that's one of the reasons we're on the fringes. So we're certainly not saying guaranteed severe weather, but if nothing else, I'm not used to them going that far out.
Certainly not.
Take it away, Ross.
Well, also, we kind of just laid it out there for you for, Sunday and into early next week. We're looking for the rain and storm chances. So until then, warm and sunny tomorrow. A little bit of a cooler breeze rolls on in for your Thursday. Friday looking pretty good. And then by the time the weekend rolls around, we will be watching and waiting for the rain chances and thunderstorm chances to return back to the First Coast. So until then, enjoy the baseball game tonight if you're going out there, whether you're a Gator or Seminole fan. And of course, tune in to First Coast News at 5, 5:30, 6, 7, 11, whenever you can. We'll have more on your forecasts on there. But until then, we appreciate you guys tuning in. He was Chief Meteorologist Tim Deegan. I'm Meteorologist Ross Mumal. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday night and take care.
Cut the cord, get the app, stream free. Download the First Coast News Plus app, your trusted source for news, your weather, all your sports, and so much more on your time. Yeah, your schedule. Get your most accurate forecast, your weather impact alerts, extended breaking news coverage, and exclusive specials at a time that is convenient to you and your family. Download First Coast News Plus and watch for free right now.
I knew I needed physical therapy to be able to get back to doing the things I want to do, specifically golf.
Throughout Brooks Rehabilitation, with the 50+ locations we have, we see people with many injuries across the board. We're really looking to individualize a treatment plan and create goals together. That way they can get back to the sport or activity they love to do.
I would definitely recommend Brooks to anyone who needs physical therapy. It enabled me to get back on the golf course to do what I want to do.
Nothing breeds competition and camaraderie in a community like sports. It gets your adrenaline pumping. Sports has a unique way of bringing people together. Your First Coast sports team understands that. We go beyond the X's and O's and to the heart of the game.